Recording now. What's up, everyone? Tom Hayden here with another episode of the Tom Hayden Show. This is a fun one. So this is the first one I'm recording after episode 1 dropped. The way I'd set it up, I recorded a bunch of them. Had episode 1 drop on the 19th. Episode 2 is dropping tomorrow on the 26th. And we're recording episode 5 right now. So today is Christmas Day. Merry Christmas to everyone, by the way. And I am honored to have my guest that we both had time today. We got Joey MachPunchVGC on, and he's a fun person to talk to. So Joey, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself right now.
Oh, okay, sweet. What's up, guys? So my name is MachPunchVGC. I'm a competitive Pokemon streamer, shit poster on Twitter,
Yep.
and I don't know what else to say. Active duty military.
Thank you for your
But
service.
that's the least interesting thing about me. I think the most interesting thing about me is my uncanny obsession with Breloom.
All right. So I think this is a perfect place to start. Can you talk about what got you into Pokemon and like how you got into this world?
Absolutely. So, like almost everyone that plays Pokemon at the age of 23, I played Pokemon a shit ton as a child, so much. I've played every single game, mainline, side series, except for Pokemon Snap because I don't want to sit around taking pictures. I want to battle.
I've never played that either.
Around X and Y, I was 14, 15.
Nice.
And I was just on Instagram, and I met a competitive player with the same name as me. He also was a Joey. He was a Smogon singles player. I'll never forget that because that's actually how I started. I didn't start playing VGC until later down the line.
Okay.
I started out very simple singles, was very, very bad at it. Like, just so bad, but I had so much fun.
That's how we all start.
Eventually I was like, you know what, this is fun. But I want to try something more.
Okay.
And I think it was around that time where VGC was actually starting to pick up. Like, it was getting more and more popular. All the big names were doing it. There was Wolfie, Cybertron. I actually think I started VGC around the same time that Wolfie won Worlds in 2016.
Oh, wow.
It might have been a little bit before that, or it might have been right after. I can't remember the exact date.
But it's around that time.
I started around then. I loved it. I was awful at it, as things go. Life got in the way, and I stopped playing for years, actually. I think the last big meta I played was X and Y.
Wow.
Up until Series 10 of Sword and Shield is when I'd finally, like, stabilized in Korea. I had so much time on my hands, and I was like, you know what? This would be a good time to sit down and make some Pokemon teams. So I did. I was out in the field, just sitting around doing nothing. I was like, I'm gonna make some teams. I was making some teams, and I was like, the 252-252 spread is nice. That's what you get used to when you play a lot of singles. That's the optimal spread. Is you just want to hit hard and hit fast,
Yep.
or just survive hits. But then I started reading and watching videos, and I was like, I could do some like serious math and like figure out how to tweak these. So that was around Series 10. I stopped playing Series 11 because the format didn't interest me. Series... yeah, I'm sorry, I can't even remember what the rule set was.
Neither can I, that's what I was thinking. I think it was
one restricted Dynamax. I don't know,
Yeah.
something about it just didn't interest me. So I didn't play that month. Series 12, beginning of 2022 when it came out.
I got hooked.
That's when I started actually streaming then.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize
Of
that
course,
recently.
I didn't stream under MachPunchVGC until I think August is when I rebranded. I went by Joey Martian. Yeah, that was my original Twitch name, was Joey Martian. And I went by that. I played variety games. I wasn't just a VGC streamer at the time. I believe the first game I streamed was Five Nights at Freddy's, the new one. Just because it seemed like so much fun. But yeah, I'm getting off topic, but
No, this is what I love.
I've been playing Pokemon my whole life, but competitive is something that I'm just getting back into after a very, very long break.
Well, dude, I wouldn't have been able to tell. I thought you've been playing for a while based on, like, the way you do EVs always impresses me. The way you talk about the math, and you're good at the math off the top of your head, too. So, like, that always really impresses me. So, hearing that little backstory, I'm surprised you got in Series 10, Series 12 is when you really got back into it.
Yeah, like, the math has always been what fascinates me, is that you can do these little, very technical calculations. You can bump by just 8 to survive what should potentially be a one-hit knockout, but then you can turn the whole game around just by surviving that one attack. That just really interests me, the way you can optimize these sets and kind of do some like very niche situational things.
And knowing the calculations is always something that's important to me if I'm doing those specific calculations. It's like, I know I survived this 95 or 75% of the time. I know I survived this 100% of the time with this much to this much health. Like, knowing that before the move starts is so crucial too, and that's one of the things, talking to you in prep, that really impressed me about your game.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about draft. So we met in the CPDL, and the CPDL I hold very close to me, my heart. And I love the way I found the CPDL through Twitter. Got invited from United Way, and season 2 I started, and I sat out the Diamond Pearl season, but I've been in the whole time since. And I'd love to hear your journey to finding the CPDL.
Yeah, absolutely. So I found it's kind of a weird little backstory. So I CPDL through a guy that I met in a Twitch streamer's Discord server. This Twitch streamer was really responsible for me coming to the scene.
Shout him out.
As invested as I did. It was Nino Pokerose.
Nino's a good friend. Shout out Nino.
Nino's a great dude.
Yeah.
If you're watching this podcast and you don't watch Nino, you're missing out for sure. Great content.
Time out. Before you go on to the next. Wait, time out. Nino is such a good person. Please go subscribe to him. He's making a partner push. Please go subscribe to Nino if you don't. Or follow Nino. Subscribe if you can. He is a wonderful dude. I've hung out with him at multiple events now. I had my shoes off in London. I had my Cactus Jacks on one seat, my hat on another. I was saving 5 seats for the Nino Pokey family. The whole like all 5 of them. And it was like, it warmed my heart to be able to watch the finals match in London with them. I absolutely love Nino. I absolutely love his entire family. Shout out all his kids. I don't want to start saying his kid's name, but his son plays at the juniors level. And talking to him between rounds helps me. Like, he was watching my game versus Justin Burns at the London Open and was like, Tom, if you did this and this, you would have won game 2. I'm telling you. And I'm like, oh, I love this energy. And, like, having him on my side, too, having Nino's son become one of my friends at these events, one of the people I'm so excited to see every time, is not something I expected, but it's happened. And Nino's son is one of my favorite people to see at these events now, too. I absolutely love the whole family. So, yeah,
Nino,
go on. Sorry to interrupt.
Nino's just a top-notch guy. He's big. He's bringing together the VGC community because he's just such a wholesome dude. Like, there's never any negativity with him.
I can't say enough good words about him. Yeah.
He loves the game, and he loves everyone that plays it. That's the big thing. Is like, Nino never has a bad thing to say. But yeah, this is quickly becoming into just profession of love for Nino.
Yeah, let's just suck his dick real quick, why don't we?
So back to CPDL.
Time in.
So I was in his server, and I was talking to a buddy of mine that I made through there, K Demarney.
Shout out KD too.
KD, great dude.
Love him too.
Super good player. And he was talking about a draft league that was coming up that he was partaking in. I was like, that sounds so cool. I was like, dude, you gotta get me in this. He's like, there is a prepaid, like, pay to play kind of deal. I was like, I don't care. I want to play.
Yeah.
Like, I want in. So he adds me to the server, and it was the final BDSP season.
Okay. I sat out the BDSP season.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Yeah, I know you were in the chat because I talked to you a little bit.
I was so active. I was so active in the chat. I felt bad because I was drunk at a Knicks game, and I told Behaney, I'm going to do whatever you fucking decide. And then they decided Diamond and Pearl, and I was like, I don't want to play.
But it was, I remember I had no idea how to draft, what any of these things meant, because it's based off of like a fantasy football type league, which I've never been into. I never knew anything about that stuff.
Wow. So it's all new.
On draft day, super confused, and I remember it was super funny because I get in there, I'm like the 6th person to choose.
Okay.
Everyone's got these great mons, and I'm like, hey, Breloom's available. So I was like, hey, give me Breloom. And so I got that, and I performed so badly, um, that season specifically because everybody knew what I was gonna do with Breloom. Everybody knows exactly what Breloom's shtick is.
It
Um,
does it well.
it does it super well. Honestly, one of my favorite Sporemons, just because it also packs a punch.
Yeah. A Mach Punch.
A mock punch, yes. But yeah, so that was my first season there. I did the one right after that, but my head wasn't in the game, and I think I threw just about every single round up until the final week.
You played me and Jade
when I
back
was
to back, and you beat
yeah, when I was
Jade.
talking to my opponent, and I was like, "Hey man, I'm really not feeling this season. I got some things going on. I've been just handing out free wins, which you should never do. You should always try." But I was going through some stuff. My head wasn't in VGC, and so he was like, "No, give me your all." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Shout out to
That's what
Jade.
I'll do.
And I was
Yeah.
streaming it on from his perspective. He's an Australian player. I love him to death too. Just talking about so many people we love. And so he's like has a camera on it on the Discord stream. I'm streaming to the Twitch channel. And we're on a voice chat and he's like, "I think I might have lost, mate. I think Joey got me, mate." And you kicked ass that battle. I forget exactly what your strategy was, but it was like you
So
came
game
to
one,
play
it
when he
was,
said that.
It was Gigantamax Hatterene.
Okay, in the double confusions.
Get the early game confusion.
Yep.
And just because I was using Life Orb Hatterene.
Yep.
I remember he expected me to Trick Room, but I didn't Trick Room immediately. I went for big damage, and then the next turn I Trick Roomed, and I think that threw him off.
Yes.
Game 2, he outplayed me completely.
Okay.
And then Game 3, I'll never forget that one because I was laughing because I was like Gmax Hatterene works so well, but big Pikachu. And so I just threw my whole game plan out the window. I was like, if I lose now, whatever. It's been a fun set. I'm Dynamaxing Pikachu.
And it worked.
And,
it worked.
and it worked. It worked so well for some reason. Because I think I wasn't using Focus Sash Pikachu. I was using
Light Ball,
I
right?
was using Light Orb
Or Light
or
Ball.
Eviolite.
Oh, really? You weren't even using the Light Ball to double the damage?
I can't even remember. For the life of me, I can't remember what I did, but I know I wasn't going Focus Sash because I think someone else on the team wanted to sash more.
Yeah, that's how it goes most of the time. Oh,
But yeah, that was a super fun set.
And we played immediately after. It was a double header for you the last 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that was an interesting. I don't remember that one as vividly, but I know I lost.
It was a 2-0 win for me, and Jade was on the call like he couldn't believe he lost because that game was, if he won, he would have guaranteed his playoff spot. But then he loses, I win, I jump him for the playoff spot. So now I'm in a situation where if I beat Bananas in one game in the last week of the season, I'm in. I got 2-0'd by Bananas. He hit 3 Hurricanes out of the rain, and I think he got 1 confusion too, or 1 big miss. And like that type of RNG stacking up game 1 just tilted the shit out of me going into game 2. He kicked my ass game 2. And it was on Showdown, not Cart, because he didn't have the Cart right. Like, he couldn't play on Cart for some reason. I forget the reason. He couldn't play on Cart, so I'm already a little upset. I'm like, this is my winning in. I want to play on Cart. This is a Cart league. Showdown just has random-ass RNG. Then I get
Absolutely.
the random 3 Hurricanes in a row out of the rain with the confusion. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then game 2, I just played poorly. He kicked my ass, and Jade ended up making the playoffs. But I remember you almost played spoiler for his season. You almost knocked him out of the playoffs by being your only win on the season. You know what I'm saying?
I felt so bad too because I
competitive.
knew that if I somehow won that set, it would mess up his whole plan.
I
was
saved
like,
him.
I don't feel right. I've been throwing the whole season. There's no point in me winning. Like I couldn't make playoffs. There was absolutely no way.
I think you were 0-4 going into it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I played poorly that entire season.
It was fun though.
I felt super bad for.
Don't feel bad ever for winning.
Him out of the playoffs.
Don't ever feel bad for winning. That's how it goes.
So Jada, if you're watching this, my bad.
The homie Jade. No, he's awesome, and he ended up making the playoffs because I squandered my game anyway. But when we really started hanging out was actually the CPDL weekend tour, which was a lot of fun. And now,
that was so much fun.
and yeah, let's talk about how good you did in that instead of how bad you did. Can you talk a little bit about your results in that one?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was 7 rounds over the course of
Like
2 days.
hours.
I think it
Yeah,
was
2 days.
just Friday and Saturday, right?
Yeah, I believe
Because
so.
Thursday was the draft, and then Friday morning throughout the day, and then Saturday afternoon.
Yep. Let me pull up the Google Doc
Um,
too.
yeah, it was something like that. It might have been Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but um, I got super lucky on the draft. Because I'm looking at it right now. Turn one of my draft, I got Tornadus Incarnate.
Yeah, I'm looking at
So
that now
that's
too.
automatically, I got speed control right there. Nothing stopping me. And then turn two, everybody somehow just let me get Regieleki. So now I have speed control and the fastest Pokemon in the game with one of the most devastating Dynamax options.
Yeah.
Um, and then from there, my choices got kind of whack. I went with Galarian Zapdos, then Seismitoad and Drampa. But the real MVP of my draft, that weekend tour, 100% Escavalier. Um,
Really?
it took so many hits and just got so many KOs. It was my answer for Trick Room. It was everything. Escavalier and Articuno, like Cantonian Articuno, was so good. And then insult to injury, they also let me get Landorus Therian. Like my team was just stacked from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the roster now and zooming in on it.
Yeah, I had Politoed as well. That thing was cool, cash money.
And then it
I
also
ended
helps
up
SCAV too.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing even like I think the only thing that KOs um the Escav was it was somebody's fire type. I can't remember what it was. I think it was Heatran.
Okay.
Um Carney had a Heatran
Carney.
that in the rain still O-code Escavalier, which was crazy.
That is pretty
Um
crazy, actually, when you say it out. In the rain, still O-code. Oh my god. And then you had the rain mode too with the Seismitoad, which I'm realizing now.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I brought that a couple of battles, but it was not what I relied on. It was a good end game check for sure. We had a strong rain core. I'm pretty sure I had a pretty decent Trick Room matchup too.
You had Drampo
Uh,
too, who gets the
yeah,
best coverage.
yeah,
Slow for Trick
Drampa,
Room.
Escavalier, Politoed.
Yeah. This is a
It was
really
just stacked.
cool team, actually. In the way, in draft, where there's only 11 options your opponent has against you, and you know all 11 of the options, it makes it easier to prep for what you need, which I really love about draft.
Absolutely. That was a good tournament. I ended up going 7-0 in Swiss. I went undefeated. And then I showed up to Top Cut, and I lost to
Wait, let me pull that up too.
Mr. Amazing,
Oh, he's so
who
good,
I
though.
who I had beaten in Swiss. Um, in round. Uh,
Yeah, I'm looking at it
I
now.
think it was actually.
Round 6.
Yeah, it was the last round I played because I got a round 7 bye. Because I was pestering B Hanny to give it to me so I could take a break from battling.
Because you're like,
Um,
everyone else is 5 and yeah, like, can I please get
Because
the
I'd
break
gone
on?
I'd gone 6-0. I was like, B Hanny, please,
Yeah.
just give me this.
That's very funny. And,
Yeah, then so major upset. Mr. Amazing ends up beating me in the Top Cut round 1, so I was out. So then he ended up going all the way to the finals, I think, and
and he
then
lost to Kunki.
Kunki
Yeah, he lost.
Kunki ended up claiming the whole thing.
Yeah. This was a super fun weekend tournament. And I forget how it ended up, but we were like, hey, you trying to prep together? And we were both like, yeah, let's prep together. And we
I
had
remember,
so
yeah, you
much
said
fun.
something I think it was in general or in the draft tour channel. You were like, who wants to prep? I was like, you know what? I want to prep. I want to actually show up and think about this.
And it worked.
Because usually I just go like balls to the wall in these draft leagues. Like I come up with a crazy strat, hope I can catch someone off guard and get a cheeky win. That's pretty much how I approach it. But now like Like
I
after
know.
that, I'm like, I should probably put a little more like thought into making the team, EVing them, and making sure they synergize because it worked so well.
I have so much fun doing that part of the draft too. Like that prep is like some of the most fun I have playing in draft leagues too. It's like, how do I crack this puzzle? Like, it's a puzzle. That's the way I look at it. I'm like, how do my pieces beat their pieces? Like, let's do this. Can they? Is there anything I have that they can't stop? Is there anything they have that I can't stop? You know, and just assessing the board's like state of the 11 versus 11 matchup is one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my god.
Um,
What
yeah, that was a super fun match.
Dude, it is
Um,
so much
so I
fun
remember
playing
we
those.
fought at one point, and we were like, "No, we can't prep together."
Round 5, right before your match with
Round
Mr.
five.
Amazing. And then if I was 2 and 4 going into round 7, so I was shocked I made it. But I thought I was going to be the 8 seed and have to play you again cuz Mr. Amazing was the 8 seed. I ended up being the 7 seed. So with 3 and 4 record, which is crazy how close it is. Everyone was like 3 and 3, 3 and 4 by the end of it. It was like everyone was just kicking each other's ass except for you who kicked everyone's ass.
Yeah, I was super surprised because there's so many good players there
Oh, so many good
that
players.
that have
Mismag,
stomped
Yama,
me in the other
Anti,
leagues.
Carney,
I think,
Kid, United, yeah,
yeah, a big part of it, I
F
think, just
Master,
comes straight down to I
Kunki,
got really
amazing.
good drafts. Like nobody, like I saw it. I saw it like a beacon had shined on the roster that no one had taken Tornado Selecki yet,
And it worked.
and it just ended up so good.
But yeah, that's really where we started chilling. And then I think when Scarlet Violet came out, we were like hanging out on some group chat, doing some raids or something, just talking about the new game. And I was talking about maybe starting a Discord. And you were like,
Yeah,
dude, if you ever need a mod, let me know. And I think this was like right before Thanksgiving at this point. It was probably like a month after the weekend tour. And I literally hit you up the next day after you said that, like, yo, I made a channel. You want to be a mod for real? And you were like,
yeah, I
yeah.
remember that. Um,
That's so funny to me. Because you said that probably not expecting me to hit you up literally the next day about that.
yeah, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, this guy barely knows me. He's got so many other options for mods. I was like, I might as well like make a joke, be like, hey, I'm here, and it worked out. You were like, send it.
You signed up.
Um, yeah, there we were.
No, but it was just because we had so much fun prepping together the weekend tour. I know you were in the CPDL community, and that, like, anyone in the CPDL, I got a special place in my heart for them. It's like, all right, you guys found your way into the first community. I found my way into too. So it's like, all right, I already like everyone in there a little bit more than the usual average person I meet. Then we had so much fun prepping together. I was like, if I'm on this journey, he seems like he knows what he's doing too. And yeah, it's been a fun ride this first month of having the Discord, but that really makes me laugh looking back on that. Like,
Definitely, 100%.
and yeah, man, it's just like, thank you for that, because like it's really fun having you along this weird journey with me. And we were before this podcast. Let's go a little behind the scenes. I'm planning the first tour on a Tuesday, the 27th. And I got approval from Limitless to host him, and Joey like talked me through everything. I added him as an admin on that too. It's like I love how this little community has grown so much, and I have you to help. Like, you helped grow it too, man. So I thank you. Like, I can't thank you enough for that. But that's why I
Hey
was like,
man, I'm always here.
that's why I'm so happy to have you on too. Because now, Beanie's a mod. He's on the episode before this. T Mosk is a mod. He was on episode 2. Carney's a mod. He was on episode 3. So now I got all 4 of the moderators on episodes 2 through 5. So I was like, let's fucking go. Get to meet the people that are helping me along this journey too on the Tom Hayden show, man. And have you've been playing a lot of Scarlet and Violet, or no? Only on Showdown, you said, right?
So I've done pretty much every tour that's popped up. I've
Oh,
done both
perfect.
the X9 pop-up tours.
Nice.
I've done every Nino tour except for the one he had. I think it was yesterday because
I missed that one
I'm
too.
on vacation right now.
Shout out
And I'm
vacation.
too lazy to make a team in game for it, and I don't want to use another rental
Yeah.
because my big thing is with rentals, you got to really practice to understand them. I'm not Snipertron. I can't pick up a rental and just slay with it. I need to look at the EVs, know what they do.
I
That's
feel the
why I
same
work
way.
so much better with teams that I make myself. And so I didn't have time to get the team I've been messing around with in game. and it was Christmas Eve. So I was like, I'll sit this one out. But next week, I'm back to my big PC, a lot of free time in the afternoons, and I will be right back to the tournaments. But also, yeah, I have been playing a lot of Showdown,
Yeah.
trying to figure out this really weird meta that we found ourselves in.
I fucking love it, low key, man. Like
It's so fun. It's very volatile. It's not as volatile as Dynamax in the sense that one bad turn will cost you the game, but it's explosive. It's
you don't even
definitely a
need to
power creep.
terrestrialize
There's so many,
sometimes.
yeah, there's so many hard hitters, and then adding defensive typing through terrestrialization on there. It's just so hard to get a good feel for what's gonna happen. Anything can happen.
What's been your opinion on the closed team sheet on like the random ladder stuff versus the open team sheet tournaments? How have you liked that change?
I love the concept of open team sheets.
I love it.
Not gonna lie.
I love it. I
But
didn't think I would.
if if you ever go back through any of my VODs on Twitch,
Go back.
if you ever
through.
watch me in a
Shout out
tournament, you will see
MachPunchVGC.
that I never look at the open team sheets until it's too late.
Oh, Joey, you can't do that
I'll
to
make
yourself.
I'll make a move, and then I'll be like, huh, I should probably double check and make sure they don't have like an item that directly counters this, and then I'll go back and I'll be like, yeah, that's a throw and a half. Or sometimes, it just works out. But it's different than on like just random Showdown ladders where you just have to do something and hope it works out.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned to play is not in open team sheets. So I feel like open team sheets, very very good concept. I'm glad they're doing it just because terrestrialization is so diverse that it's good to know what their options are before they can just pull one of 17 random types out of a hat.
And a lot of the Pokemon were made so versatilely. Like you could
Absolutely.
use Annihilate in 3 different ways successfully. You could use like adding a lot of the moves to Grimmsnarl, even the Mousehold, like Indeedee, Trick Room, Armor. Like there's so many Pokemon that have access to a lot of utility now that it's like.
Yeah, and it takes it away from like game one used to be
Information gathering, 100%.
information. Yeah, absolutely. And then game two was if you won that first one, take the information you learned and then apply it with more pressure for
And
game two, so you can just get a clean 2-0. Or if you lost game one, it's take the information you learned and then
Try not to
completely
fuck up.
readjust. And hope that you don't get 2-0'd because that's always embarrassing.
Always sucks.
It happens to me so often.
It happens
lately.
to the best of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see where open team sheets go.
Dude, I really thought I was going to get, farmed by really good players. And what's been happening for me is I've been, able to guarantee myself a Trick Room option. It's like, oh, I know they have Snarl, I'll play around this. I know they have Dark Pulse, I'll play around this for the Hydreigon specific matchup. It's just like, oh, I know all the threats now. And it's been way easier for me to adjust personally once I get the form of speed control I want and set up my team the way I want to. It's been really fucking cool to see, though. It's such a shift, though. Now that when I'm playing on ladder with the closed team sheets, it's, way different, man. It's oh, fuck. It was a grind to get my team up to the 1500s. I was like, all right, Dynamax, I don't know why I found it easier to get, a new account up to 1500, and that's what I would call practice. I'd be like, all right, this is good game one practice. In this format on Showdown, it's so different now because it's all closed team sheets. So it's I'm not even getting good practice, in my opinion, now on Showdown. I'm just doing it for fun to kill time, which is a complete paradigm shift on how I used to use Showdown.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just using Showdown. What I'll do, completely unorthodox. It's a bad strategy, and I don't suggest people do this.
I'm excited to
What
hear.
I'll do is I'll decide on a core of 4 that I really like, that I know synergize well together.
Okay.
And then caution to the wind, I don't add the 5th and 6th Pokemon. I just start laddering with the 4 that I've got.
I've seen that a couple of times. I've seen that a couple of times.
Bad situations I'm in, what 5th Mon could I have added to the team to kind of round out my answer to this specific threat.
Okay.
and typically I end up abandoning those teams, or just completely restarting. But it's a fun little exercise in like
You're kind of selling
in
me on it. I
battling.
kind of want to try it now. Next time I have 4 I like.
It definitely make an alternate showdown account so you don't like mess up your elo or anything too bad if you care about that stuff.
I don't give a fuck about
But
that.
like I don't care too much about elo on showdown.
Yeah,
I just do it to mess around.
yeah, exactly.
So just good team building practice. Like
Yeah, yeah. That's what I
I
found
don't know.
draft
I
was for me too. Draft was like great team building practice for me.
I approach team building with what one of my teammates on the VCL calls crackhead energy. Is I just an ability to make like teams out of nothing that are super weird, but sometimes work.
But
That's
sometimes sort.
that's like my forte apparently.
Dude, I think it works well when it works well too. Cause like I've seen you kick ass,
Absolutely.
you know, and it's just like very fun when it works and you built a team that's unorthodox that no one sees coming. That you're like, I'm proud of this too, and it's working, and it's working. Like that's a good fucking feeling. That's a really good feeling. So like definitely when you got a team like that, let me know and let's do some practice runs too.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, like dude, I've had so much fun talking to you. I know this is like a shorter one. We've only been talking for like 35 minutes now. But yeah, is there like it's Christmas night, so I'm down to call this one of the shorter episodes, and I'm still finding my footing with this whole podcast world. But yeah, man,
Yeah,
this was
man.
a really good
I don't have
conversation
much
so
to
far.
say.
Yeah, we covered like everything I wanted to cover. So is there anything else you want to add in before we get out of here?
Well, let's see.
I got
We
my
talked about
notes are all crossed off. Yeah.
CPGL. Talked about just Pokemon in general.
How you got into Pokemon, which is cool that X and Y was the start for you.
Yeah, like that was definitely the start of my competitive.
ORAS was that for me. What's it called? My buddy taught me EVs and IVs and ORAS, and I would just play through and build teams against him. And I never really played on ranked ladder because I didn't like using restricted mons. So I'd only play like him and a couple of my other friends. And then when Sword and Shield came out, I was able to take that information and make a team and go to the Master Ball rank, which felt really fucking cool. You know, but like,
So I remember my first time getting a Master Ball on
yeah, talk about that.
ranked ladder.
Talk about that if you
Yeah, so
remember.
it was actually Series 12.
Okay.
It was my first time like actually sitting down and like climbing.
Series 5 was that
I
for me.
used
No,
a
Series
team
4.
that I built with Joe
Series
UX9
5,
for
yeah.
Series 12. It was super cool. It had Choice Scarf Kyogre,
Love it.
Gothitelle, Zacian was on there as well. It was super meta, but like it had some off meta things. Like Gothitelle, no one really used at the time because it was the first month of Series 12. Everyone was just like hyper offense spamming, and me and Joe were sitting there. We were like, we could a very consistent lead would be to lead
Choice Scarf,
this
Kyogre,
Choice Scarf
Gothitelle.
Kyogre with Shadow Tag Gothitelle.
Because then no one can switch out.
Effectively, yeah, you get a very fast, very powerful Water Spout, and then you have Zacian in the back for cleanup. You have Hypnosis.
Yep.
We also had Kartana and Zapdos on the team. It
Ooh!
was a super cool team. I loved it so much.
That does sound fun.
It was some heat, and I remember I climbed up. I had a really good ratio of wins to losses. Like, I was super proud of it.
As you should be. Because that's not easy getting up to Master Ball and Ranked Ladder. I know, like, I've been able to do it every month, but I gotta recognize it's not easy for some people. And, like, I guess that's a testament to the people that could get there every month. You know, like, I didn't realize that's a goal I should be proud of.
Yeah, definitely. Like ranked laddering was never something that I really cared about.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the tournaments. Like that was like I didn't realize that laddering is just a good best of one practice.
Mhm. Not even anymore, but yeah, it used to be. In my mind, it was the best of one practice. Like, game one practice
Absolutely.
alone. Yeah. But,
And it's always cool to see some of the teams that are on the ladder.
yeah. No, the teams that do well on ladder, too, are, like... They're mostly fun to use because they're that consistent in a best of one situation, too. So, like, the ladder really helps consistent teams. Where the more volatile teams, it's like you got to pilot them well. You got to like know who you're facing to. It's interesting to see that dynamic switch. But that's why I've been having so much fun in best of 3 open team sheets. So like that's why I'm so excited for this tour on Tuesday too. This is gonna be the first ever tour I'm running. Like, thank you for helping me set that up. And
Yeah, of course.
5 best of 3 rounds, no top cut because it's just for practice, and it goes from 7 to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, end by midnight. And I wouldn't be surprised if people drop before that too. But yeah, man, I'm super excited for that practice, and I definitely want to get some more practice against you before San Diego. Because I am super excited to see how I do at San Diego, and I want more best of 3 practice against a kick-ass battler like you. But
yeah, I'm very excited. I can't go to any like tournaments for a while, but
how far away is? You're not in Korea anymore, right?
I am not.
Okay.
I am up in New York.
All right, so maybe I'll come get a beer with you on the weekend if I can, or something like that. We'll plan that out off stream.
Oh, definitely, man.
Yeah, because I'm over on Long Island, so I shouldn't be too far away. Not more than like 9 hours.
Yeah.
I don't think anywhere in New York is more than 9 hours away. So at least I know it's less than that. But yeah, man, this was a lot of fun, and I think we're gonna end this one here. Joey, again, I can't say thank you for your time enough. Like, I really have had it's been a pleasure since I got to meet you on this world, and yeah, you're one of the cooler people I met. I gotta say, like, right when we started talking, I was like, oh, I fuck with this guy. Like, I like your energy, I like your attitude, and you're like you're passionate about Pokemon, and you're good with the numbers in my mind too. Like in my mind, talking to you, I'm like, oh, Joey knows his shit. Like that's always something I like. I respect the hell out of someone when I like. Like when you gave me that impression, I was like, oh, fuck with Joe. Like he knows his shit too. That's good. You know, like I love seeing that. So thank you for giving me that impression too of yourself.
Thank you, man, and thank you for having me on. This is a very cool little thing we're doing here.
Yeah, man, episode 5. So it's just the beginning. I definitely want to have you on in the future too. Just like, I don't know where this is gonna go, but I'm excited to see. And I'm just gonna keep trying to pump out episodes with people I'm interested in talking to. Like, the way I'm viewing it is like a Joe Rogan show light. Like, Joe Rogan has people on he wants to talk to that are interesting. And I was like, that's a cool concept, and I have a lot of people I like talking to. I'd love an excuse to talk to them for 45 minutes to an hour. You know, just get to know them a little bit better. And share those conversations with the world, too. And that's exactly what this show is doing.
Definitely.
So, again, thank you for your time. I appreciate each and every second of it. And whoever's listening, we'll see you next time.